Yeah. Are you
Hey, do you think I should use it?
I highlighted it in yellow.
You should? Should I give it to them?
I told him to speak up.
Huh?
I told him to speak up.
Do you want me to just hand it to him? Or I get to ask? Shoot, I get to ask her.
Call the committee of the whole meeting of Board of Education for school district number 40 at 6 p.m. on Monday, February 14th, 2022 at the Roosevelt Elementary School. Can I have a roll call, please? Audrey Adamson. Here. Justin Anderson. Chet Smet. Here. Kate Schaefer. Here. Maria S. Trigueros. Andrew Wayer. Here. Aaron Waldron Smith. Here. Okay, we have a approval of the minutes, so I need a motion to approve the minutes from the committee of the whole meeting of January 10th, 2022. Second. All in favor? Aye. Aye. Any opposed? We'll to the second meeting. So we'll have the spotlight on Roosevelt.
Testing. All right. Welcome everybody. Welcome to Roosevelt. We're excited to have you here. So we are the Spotlight School for today. We're going to kind of go through a couple things, but the first thing we're going to do is just kind of give you an overview of what Roosevelt is like. So right now we're at 428 students, and that flirts between there and about 435, give or take. We do have 3 sections per grade level K4. And then we have 2 sections at grade 5. We also host 4 self-contained special education classrooms, our LF5 program, and a blended program. And currently we have 60 staff members, 34 certified staff, and 26 non-certified staff, so our paraprofessionals. Last year we did an activity that kind of engulfed what we wanted to do at Roosevelt. And what we came up with is we're a community striving to provide a strong foundation to engage and motivate our diverse learners, or diverse students to be lifelong learners. And the lifelong learners was that key piece that everybody threw in. So with me today, we have Ms. Masias, who teaches 3rd grade here. We have Ms. Peyton and Ms. Samara, who are 5th grade students here. And then we have Tara Wilson, who's actually our parent coordinator. So the goal today was our team is wanting to show our Board of Education and our community what the impact of our application Class Dojo has had on us at Roosevelt by showing you 2 different things. A, data-driven decisions and how we use it, and then B, different perspectives and how it looks at from different viewpoints. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is when I was hired for this position, I looked for different things to improve on with Roosevelt. And when I got hired, the pandemic had just started. So I knew going in that communication was just going to be absolutely crucial. So I was trying to figure out the best way using what my knowledge was as a teacher that I had with my own parents. So I looked, the first thing I did was look at the 5 essentials that parents, students, and staff fill out every year. And 92, according to the one that from 19 and 20, which is the year just before I came in, 92% of parents wanted emails and texts for communication, and only 52% wanted phone calls. So I think there's a shift happening in how we communicate with our parents more effectively and more efficiently. At this point, only 41% of parents thought their teacher directly communicated with them once a week about what was going on in class. I didn't like that number. I thought that number was a little bit too low. So we're trying to find what medium we can do that with. And only 3% of parents were contacted once a week about academic progress, which is exactly what we're trying to do at school here. So again, that number stood out to me. And then, so like I said, communication was a top priority for our staff and families, especially with the fluid environment that this pandemic has caused us. And the best part is it doesn't cost anything. So I want to give you a result after 1 year of implementation. 66% of parents said their teachers have communicated at least once a week or at minimum and that's a plus 25% from the previous year. Huge growth there. 26% of students said their teachers contact them directly about student achievement at least once a week. Again, a 23% increase. 95% of parents said their voice feels valued, and that was 18% above the previous year, and then 92% feel like they can voice their concerns to leadership, which is plus 17% from last year. So obviously, 1 year of implementation, we've grown a ton, and we're just going to continue to skyrocket as we continue to learn more about how we can utilize it. And now we're going to get the teacher point of view from Ms. Masias.
I was one of the first teachers to use Class Dojo. I started using it about 3 years ago, and I loved it right from the get-go. It's super simple. I do it on my computer. I do it on my cell phone. It's instant. It's direct. Like if something happens in class that I feel the parents need to know, I can message them directly, and they get it immediately. It's super convenient when kids are on quarantine or when they're absent for other reasons. I can send them their work. I can send the parents what they missed that day. Very easy. I share photos. You can share classwork. There's also a portfolio that kids can upload pictures of their work. So it's just between me and their parent that we send it to. Classroom announcements. I send announcements once a week to my parents about what's going on in class or what's coming up. And there's classroom tools, the big ideas. Each Friday, my kids love doing the conundrums. They get their mind going in the morning, and it's fun. They're like little opinionated debates going back and forth. They get some fun in there. They really enjoy those. Also, it's big for our behavior. Kindergarten doesn't do it, but for grades 1 through 5, we use it for behavior. They can earn points, they can lose points. And again, it gives the parents instant feedback about why they got those points or why they lost them. We use them for incentives and goals for the students. We have incentives as a whole school, but also classrooms have their own goals and incentives that they give to students. Again, it's instantaneous for parents when their students lose and gain points. And it gives the students self-awareness and reflection on why they are losing those points and also gaining them, and it empowers them to contribute more to their class environment.
So my name is Tara Wilson, and I do have a student here that's in 5th grade. She's in the LM5 program. I found that the Class Dojo was great for direct communication. It's faster, so I could message the teacher, and even if it wasn't instantaneously, it wasn't as long as waiting for a phone call to be returned. I have 2 graduate students from Moline, and I never actually felt like I was part of their schooling. I didn't really know what was going on throughout the day, so I loved seeing the pictures for the last couple of years with my daughter, who goes to Roosevelt here. And it's always nice that the information and reminders that are shared. You don't have to worry so much about like a student losing a paper or accidentally throwing it away, or if you lose it yourself. It's been very helpful in that way. Also, receiving daily updates on my daughter's behavior. She was talking about the dojo points that strikes conversation. So if I knew that there was a dojo point removed, I would know something went on, and hey, what was your day like? We talk about it all the time, but I would know that there was something abnormal in her day that we could discuss. So I find it to be very positive.
Class Dojo helps us students learn better behavior through dojo points. Like if you're not having a good day and you get a positive dojo point, it helps motivate you to earn more dojo. It also helps the communication between the parent and the teacher, or a heads up for ride changes, upcoming events, or information for that day. Parents can see points given and taken away at that moment. It starts a conversation at home. And it's a teacher-to-teacher communication, like if you're at a special and a teacher takes away a point, the teacher knows if you got a point taken away from Class Dojo. Earning points can boost confidence for the monthly dojo reward and for our classroom dojos. There was a stick system used in the past. Parents didn't know what sticks you have earned or the behavior you have. With Class Dojo, parents know what you need improvement on and what you've improved on.
And then from my point of view, so as a lot of my parents can attest, I send a lot of dojo messages out. I always want to make sure they're always in the know. I always want to make sure that I send out reminders because I know I need them myself. So I know everybody's got hectic lives just like I do. The awesome thing is I think it's freed up our administrative assistant, Mrs. Boyle, as well, because people can contact their person directly, including myself, and there are no character limitations. So I can send as long of a message as I want, and I try not to, try to keep it nice and quick. I myself have access to behavior data for all classrooms. So if I look at a classroom that's struggling, if I have a teacher that comes to me and just there's a classroom that's struggling, we can sit down, go through each classroom, go through each kid and find their biggest area of need. And then we can build a plan based on that. We've already put that into place and it's working out pretty well. And that teacher feedback while they're in the classroom in real time is huge. So when we try to make those decisions based on that data, it works out well. And the main thing is we are now creating a template to make Class Dojo and the students' behaviors student-centered. So they are actually reflecting on their own behavior weekly. They get a weekly report printed out, find their biggest or their greatest area of strength, what they did really well this week, and then their areas of improvement. And they do that weekly and then monthly as well. This data is also presented to our problem-solving team if there are any bigger issues that we need to solve. Our behavior team, which makes decisions for our monthly reports, and our classroom teachers, and then students, and obviously parents as well. The weekly reports I get a weekly report, and it tells me how many messages were sent, how many pictures and photos were shared, and what is the positive rate that we have in our school on average. So for this last week, there was over 1,300 messages sent from parent to teacher. There are 67 photos shared throughout our entire school and an 89% positive rate, which means 9 out of 10 times my teachers are promoting positivity within their classrooms, which is amazing. These are different examples that we had for our behavior awards. So we had a snowball fight with hot cocoa in here, which was super fun. Kids loved it. We had a movie and popcorn for our holiday one. And then our very first one, which obviously there was no snow on the ground and we're wearing short sleeves. Can't wait for that again. We brought our music out. We played music during recess for 30 minutes and then we had some popsicles to kind of enjoy. All right, and that's it. And then we'll take any questions that you guys have. Yeah.
I know that can students decide if they want something that's going to get sent home, so like an image or a picture or something in the project and stuff that they're doing, they do that on their own as they get the older grades, or is that something the teacher would have to do to send home, like, hey, I want my parents to see this thing that I did in class?
Like if they're doing something in class and they want to show their parents, yeah, they can tell their teacher or ask their teacher, hey, can you send this to my mom? I've actually had a couple of students do that. And yeah, I'll just take a picture real quick and I'll send it to their parents for them to see what they're doing in class. Thank you. Yeah.
And if there's like any big projects that are happening, it's guaranteed that it's getting put on Dojo. That's just the way it's always been. I know Ms. Tara Wilson is our parent coordinator, and she also is one taking pictures for us as well. And she posts those on Dojo and on our Facebook page. So we're getting all sorts of work out there.
There you go.
Thank you so much.
All right, good evening. I would like to present a new partnership that our district is planning with the city of Moline. We are actually working towards increasing student career readiness, work-related experiences, and our high school students at Moline High School will have an opportunity here this spring and into next year to engage in a very unique partnership with the city of Moline. So our reasoning for developing these sorts of partnerships, number one, they are aligned to our district strategic goals, our PACE goals. Remember, PACE stands for people, achievement, community, environment. And one of the goal focus areas for achievement is making sure that our students are learning in a way that's applicable to life after high school. This program will add to a growing list of student apprenticeship opportunities. I'm very excited for our growth in this area in our district. And this model can certainly prove to be replicated with different entities moving forward. As I mentioned, we want to increase work readiness experiences in the trades for interested students by offering a multifaceted internship program with various departments within the City of Moline Public Works. And of course, increasing local job opportunities and a viable applicant pool for the City of Moline has those dual benefits. Program overview. So we are in the process of finalizing an intergovernmental agreement between the City of Moline and the Moline-Co Valley Schools. And this program will offer 3 tiers of student work readiness experiences within the Public Works Department. This spring will be our first opportunity for students, and this program will be offered to juniors and seniors. The experience includes exposure to 6 different city departments within Public Works, and those include engineering, fleet maintenance, utilities field maintenance, water treatment plant, parks and street maintenance, and wastewater treatment plant. The students will have an opportunity to complete certain work readiness certifications, resume and job interview preparation and support, fast track transition to Blackhawk College with financial assistance, and possible future full-time paid employment within the City of Moline. So the first tier, or tier 1, will begin this spring. We will be able to identify approximately 25 junior students at Moline High School that have expressed interest in a career in the trades. We will then schedule a formal tour with these 25 juniors this spring, hopefully in March. And the tour will include those 6 functional areas that I mentioned before within the City of Moline. After the tour, each participant will be offered an application for the Tier 2 experience, which will result in a 6-week paid internship for the coming summer, this coming summer in 2022. And then we will make sure that our parents that are involved are very well informed. We will offer probably virtual and in-person parent meetings, so those parents with students that are interested can come and learn more about this program and have their questions answered. Tier 2, through a selection committee, 6 students then will move forward and be selected from the 25 juniors on the tour to complete a 6-week paid internship during the summer after their junior year. They will spend 1 week in each of those 6 functional areas that I mentioned. The duration will last 6 weeks in the summer, and they will begin at 7 a.m. and actually be completed at 11 a.m. However, they will have the option to add on a full 8-hour workday and receive pay for the full 8 hours. It was really important in planning with the mayor and those in charge of the Public Works Department that we didn't put our students in a position to have to choose. Well, I really would like this work-ready experience, but I also need to work in the summer and earn money for, life after high school or to support the family or whatever else is needed. So they will come and do their internship in the morning, and those that are looking for full-time pay will be able to receive that for the day through their seasonal summer employment that they typically offer. The optional add-on to continue summer employment after the 6 weeks, and then evaluation of participation and progress to determine further continuation. And so the last tier, tier 3, will involve the same 6 students, and they will have the option, this would be the summer after their senior year. So they would have the option to spend 6 full weeks in one of those functional areas. So if they prefer water management over engineering over any of those others, they would be able to identify one program and spend an entire 6 weeks in that one functional area, of course, determined by preference and demand. During the 6-week program, again, they would be there from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Monday through Friday, with an optional add-on opportunity to continue full-time summer employment after the 6 weeks. So again, the students involved don't have to worry about finding a different job after the summer internship program. They will receive an exit interview from the Human Resources Department within the city of Moline, and receive support for building their resume and also preparing for job interviews. If successful, the students, after navigating this program, will have guaranteed interviews for any vacant applicable positions for which they are qualified. And very similar to our Grow Your Own program that we have for future teachers, we would be able to dedicate some grant funds to help these students move forward should they be interested in pursuing additional certifications, additional trainings, and additional programs at Blackhawk College. Some of those examples include intrastate CDL permit, which our students would be able to receive at the age of 18 after completing training, DOT flagger certification, OSHA training, a water wastewater operator in training certificate course and test. And Blackhawk College offers a highway construction and transportation program that we would be able to assist students with as well once they complete this program. So really, because we have some grant funds that we would be able to utilize to support students once they complete the final phase of this internship, there really is no other cost associated with this program. Now, the City Council did review this program at their last meeting, and I believe they are slated to take a vote on this partnership on the 15th, tomorrow, actually, I believe. So then this partnership would come to you as a Board of Education for approval at our next meeting on the 28th. So really that is it. It's just an opportunity to sit down with our community partners and work together and see what we can do to support our students and provide additional work-ready and lifelong learning experiences. So we're very excited about this. Again, it's a model that could be replicated with other entities. And I think we're starting to generate some interest with these types of programs. So do you have any questions for me tonight?
I have a quick one.
Okay.
So you said they were juniors and seniors, but what would you do this year's seniors?
So you're correct. So it would be just these juniors that would actually start the program. Our seniors would be able to certainly take advantage of the tour and that tier 1 phase.
Okay.
And likely might be able to fast track in, but really this summer is really kind of getting the program up and running. So mostly targeted at juniors first until we can start generating a junior and a senior class every single year. So good question. All right.
And we have a calendar update by Dr. DeBate.
Hi, everyone. In your board packet, you should have a copy of a proposed 2-year calendar as well as a calendar explanation. The calendar committee met again this year because our calendars that we adopted before, which is a 3-year calendar, it expires at the end of this year. The calendar committee is something that's in our collective bargaining that we have this committee together. We have a couple board members here who have been on before. This year we had Chet. It has representation across the district. The process that we went through for the calendar is the same process we've gone through before. We start by end up looking at what are some of the guidelines that we need to follow when building the calendar, looking at what the state says that we have to end up doing as far as number of days, holidays, and really truthfully, once you figure out where it should start, the rest of it just kind of falls in line. And anyone who's been part of the calendar committee knows that. So the big thing to tackle this year, truthfully, is all the construction that's happening across our district. One of the biggest concerns we had was making sure that we can end up hitting all the metrics for construction, getting it done, and getting kids in. Because the last thing we would want to do is have a date to start and then not be able to fulfill that. So we ended up going with a 2-year calendar. Now I know eons ago we used to do 1-year calendars, and then recently we've done 3-year calendars. That's great because it gives families and staff members a chance to plan. It also helps the district in that we now have facilities from the Bartlett Performing Arts Center and all of our gyms that get used quite a bit. So it helps us with being able to plan out. Now, with that being said, you have a 2-year calendar in front of you that you would end up being asked to approve at the regular meeting tonight. Now, the reason for the 2-year calendar is that it gets us past the construction. Then the calendar committee can reconvene and then be able to look at, okay, what parameters have changed from the district now that the construction's done, and then we'll go from there and rebuild new calendars. Any questions?
I have this one. I don't remember what our normal time between student graduation and end of school. Is that normal for?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And there's some pieces that still have to fall out, like, you know, how that happens in additional years, but at least by having the calendar ready, we can start planning that, especially if we book other venues. Good question. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
All right, so now a motion to adjourn. All in favor? I call together the Board of Education meeting at 6:29 on February 13th in Roosevelt. Can I have a roll call, please? Audrey Adamson here, Justin Anderson, Ted Smith here, Kate Schaefer here, Maria Estrogeros here, Andrew Ware here, Aaron Walden Smith here. Number 2, the approval of minutes. The minutes of the committee of the whole meeting of January 10th. Oh, sorry, I'm on the wrong agenda. All right, please rise to the pledge of allegiance. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, now we have to look at the minutes. The minutes of the open session of the regular Board of Education meeting of January 24th. 2022. Could I please have a motion? All in favor? Nay. Discussion.
Hearing none, we will move on to number 4, communication, public comment, and participation. I have a few things to go over before we start. The Board of Education has their own personal norms, which is that board members do not make decisions as individuals. We ask that all questions of board members, that we direct questions to Dr. Savage, she answers directly to the board. When sending a question or concern to Dr. Savage, we ask please to CC the board president so they are aware of all concerns as well. Do not reply all to emails, and we understand our role when communicating with the public. Rather than trying to provide solutions for someone who comes to the board with concerns, board members should provide a pathway to finding the solution. Our norms that we follow the change of command for the district leadership. We as a board need to use it to direct those with questions to the appropriate cabinet member so they receive the right answer first time. Our norm is to always be respectful and do not speak over one another during the meeting. We stick to the subject at hand, particularly during closed session. Okay. I'm so sorry. All right. Before we get started on public comment, I want to go over protocol and expectations. Each person who submitted a public comment form will be called up and given 5 minutes to speak. I want to be clear that disrespect and abusive behavior will not be tolerated. It has been disheartening over the last month and a half, the inappropriate and very often nasty comments that this board has received in email and phone call. We set a standard for our children. We ask them to work together, to listen to different opinions, be kind to one another, even when we have those differences. Let us hold ourselves to the same standard that we hold our children to. All right, Lisa Christopher. You want me to come up here? Yes, please.
I have one daughter, she's in middle school, 6th grade, and I only have one child, just an only child. This last year, 2 years of COVID has been extremely hard for an only child, being at home, being separated from her friends. Anyway, back in school, it's great, but the masks are still really difficult. Starting in school, nobody can see her face, nobody can see her smile, same goes to everybody else. I understand that. But she comes home often with headaches. And I just think, I'm hoping that you all are going to consider going mask optional soon. I know that a lot of other school districts across Illinois have started. I just don't think they're, and it's not just me, but they're not protecting them. She's had COVID, kids are getting COVID. She was out, this was during this break when she had it, but she had a headache maybe 2 different times. She wasn't affected by it, and I don't think most kids are. But the masks aren't protecting. I mean, I even noticed that some of you, while we're sitting here, maybe not wearing it properly, but touching it. I touched that pen over there. I don't know how many other people touched the pen, and then with the microphone, and then you're pulling on your mask, and they don't protect unless they're, I guess, the N95 anyway. So, and the kids aren't wearing that in school. I just hope that you will consider. I don't think I'm the only parent, and I know there aren't very many people here, but I'm hearing it from other parents, and of course I see it online as well. That's about all I have to say. And I just wanted to ask if that's something that you're going to consider soon, or something that you're going to be talking about.
I just want to note that we do not respond to people at their,
okay.
So we're not ignoring you.
All right, well, I hope you will discuss it soon.
Kimberly Miller.
Hello, my name is Kimberly Miller, and I'm the parent of a 2nd grader at Franklin. Do the best you can until you know better. Then when you know better, do better. Maya Angelou said this. Almost 2 years ago, we knew nothing about what COVID meant for our community. There was a ton of speculation as to what we needed to do to protect ourselves and those around us. We all wiped groceries down because we were told it lived on surfaces. We wore masks outside, we social distanced outside, because no one knew exactly how far the droplets would carry. Fast forward to today, we know now the following. The chance of catching COVID outdoors is probably closer to less than 1%. The chance of catching COVID from surfaces is low, according to a study in the Lancet, and the CDC has confirmed that, stating that, and I quote, not thought to be the main way the virus spreads. We've learned more, now it's our job to do better for our students. I implore you to reconsider mask usage in our schools and now allow it to be a choice that students and their parents can make. As schools around us begin to cancel the requirement, Moline Coal Valley schools enjoy being a part of a club that none of us want to be in. Information can now confirm that the use of mask mandates did not cause a direct correlation between a decrease in spread. A study out of Bangladesh has been touted as a way to confirm the effectiveness. However, multiple other studies have shown that as inconclusive. 2 years into the pandemic, places that have required masks should show a significant difference in cases compared to those that have not. That's simply not the case. The University of Minnesota Center for Infectious Disease Research and Policy determined that due to the virus being spread through aerosol particles, an infectious dose can easily get around a loose-fitting mask. And I've watched everyone touch their mask, pull it down, drink water, reposition it, and put it back on your faces. I watched my daughter come home each day with the mask half on, and it's soaking wet from saliva, covered in her lunch, and I can only assume at that point it really is doing nothing more than being a dirty Kleenex that she wears on her face all day. One example of a mask mandate not working is Rhode Island. They instituted a mandate in December. Their surge in cases in January have become the highest of any other state. If the masks work, why did they experience this surge? At what point do we move forward from this? At what point, at this point, all adults that wish to be vaccinated are, parents can now make the choice if they wish to vaccinate their children that are school age. What has to give to allow us to say enough is enough? The risk of hospitalization from COVID for children under 18 is around 0.3% to 0.6%. And per the CDC director, many of those hospitalized pediatric cases are with COVID, not from COVID. This is the science. The risk of disease from COVID in children under 18, the risk of death from COVID in children under 18 is 0% to 0.01% of the 46 states that reported results to the CDC. In 2020, just over 100 children under the age of 15 died from or with COVID. They account for 0.5% of the 26,000 total child deaths from all causes combined. Children aged 5 to 9, top 3 causes of death as of 2020 are accidents, cancer, and congenital abnormalities, not COVID. Children aged 10 to 14, top 3 causes of death in 2020 are accidents, intentional self-harm, and cancer, not COVID. Where's the push to prevent these things from happening? Those are the facts. Our children are losing their childhood for less than 0.5% risk of a severe case. They are losing community, connection, smiles, the ability to see their friends and teachers' faces. They're losing touch as it's continued drill to stay 6 feet apart. We've created a generation that cannot communicate with each other, doesn't know how to converse since they have masks on, and it's difficult to hear each other speak. As of 2020, there were 9 million children in the US, 22% of our population. We are failing 1/4 of our population while the rest of the population is allowed to go to restaurants, bars, grocery stores, and any other form of commerce. What has changed during the pandemic? Suicide rates in teens have increased. Instances of self-harm increased. Childhood obesity increased. Screen time up 50 to 70%. What about that science? Is that not worth following? Do what's right, give our children their childhoods back. We know better. Now it's time for you to do better.
I'm a pretty lousy public speaker, so Andy said if I was nervous, I could picture him in his underwear, so I'm going to try not to be nervous. As the country starts to look at ways to get back to normal, our district feels like it's doubled down on a policy that was started at the very beginning of this. And we're not evolving it, we're not looking at ways to get back to normal. District 40 made the commitment to give our kids the best education under the circumstances. Since then, a lot of things have changed, but we haven't budged. When I was on the board, I didn't have fancy educators' experiences of all these complex issues that came up, but I had a Moline-Coal Valley School District education, and I tried to use the best of my ability to everything we talk about, find a way to meet in the middle. So as a parent, it's kind of tough for me to read because it's about my kids, but my daughter's 6, and she doesn't know any better because the parents and the teachers tell her you got to wear a mask. So, I mean, she doesn't complain about it because that's really all she knows. She was behind in some subjects, especially at the beginning. But that's improved since they've gotten to in-person learning. She's missed out on friendships and social interaction that my oldest son had at that age. The interaction at school with new friends is just not there. There's no smiling. You can't smile. You can't see a new friend smile through a dirty closet. My 15-year-old, he remembers making friends at school. He was looking forward to being the oldest kid in junior high. He did that a lot. So yeah, he loves school. He's a straight A student. He was looking forward to high school, meeting new friends, reconnecting with old friends. But most of all, he was looking forward to, really, he was looking forward to lunch. But he said it was kind of a big letdown too. What he got instead was kids in masks, limited social interaction, and assigned lunch seating when they went back. So there was almost no social experiences outside of friends that he already had. He kept his grades up, but the fire he had for school it's not like it was. So my kids, they refer to it as going to school, and it's like there's a bunch of zombies. So everybody just walks around, nobody talks, nobody's laughing, they're not meeting new kids. Everybody, it's the same thing every day. So I'm not saying to take all the masks away and to jump right back into being normal, because we've got, I think, probably a ways to go. But I mean, these kids, they need to have their childhood back. And if we don't look at the opportunity that's around us right now to give them some of that back, at what point do we do it? I think everybody around us right now is doing it, and now's not the time to double down. I get polls all the time, the Survey Monkey stuff in school, and I haven't seen anything on what the parents want for their kids. So as far as the masks and stuff go, I don't understand why we haven't seen that. The only thing I can think of is maybe somebody doesn't want to know the answer. So I don't know. I guess I just want to know, is this the best that we can do? And anybody with kids, I mean, it's tough for me to even talk about things like this because I love school. I didn't want to leave. But if you don't think it's affecting your kids, then you're just not paying attention. Because it is. It's affecting mine. So I'm just asking it to find a way to meet in the middle here, and it's we can't just keep putting this off. It's time to look at masks as being an option. not a requirement. That's it. Thanks.
Thank you. Bristol Ross.
Hi, my name is Bristol Ross. I'm in 5th grade and I go to Bellworth Elementary. I get good grades and I'm involved in after-school activities like patrol, student council, homework club, and academic team. I used to love school before I had to wear a mask. I haven't had a normal year of school since I was in 2nd grade. Last year, I was in school for about 2.5 months. Then I went full remote. I went back to school this year wearing a mask from day 1. Masks make it hard to breathe, hard to communicate, and they are uncomfortable. I miss my friend's smile, I miss my teacher's smile, I miss my cafeteria worker smile, I miss my principal's smile, and I miss my custodian's smile. I would like to see our district go mask optional. We should, as children, get to choose if we would like to wear a mask or not. One thing I was taught when I was bullied back in 2nd grade was to stand up for myself and be my own voice. So here I am today asking you all to give us back our voices and the right to choose. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Nicely done. Start to number 5, consent agenda. Recommended motion is that the Board of Education approve the actions contained in the consent agenda as presented. Can I have a motion, please? Roll call, please.
Jason. Maria Estragaros. Andrew Laird. Audrey Adamson. Justin Anderson. Chet Smith. Aaron Weldon Smith.
Aye. Number 6, approval of the school year 2022, 2023, 2023, and 2024 calendars. The recommended motion is the Board of Education approve the 2022, 2023, and 2023 and 2024 district calendars as presented. May I have a motion, please? Discussion? Roll call, please.
Maria Estragaros. Andrew Laird. Audrey Adamson. Justin Anderson. Chet Smith. Kate Schaefer. Aaron Weldon Smith.
Aye. Number 7, the approval of the memorandum of understanding with the Moline Foundation CTE Education Career Pathway Grant. The recommended motion is that the Board of Education approve the memorandum of understanding with the Moline Foundation for the Career and Technical Education CTE Education Career Pathway Grant. May I please have a motion? Discussion? As hearing none, may I have a roll call, please?
Andrew Laird. Audrey Adamson. Justin Anderson. Chet Smith. Kate Schaefer. Maria Estragaros. Aaron Weldon Smith.
Aye. Number 8, the adoption of registered apprenticeship program with the Department of Labor. The recommended motion is that the Board of Education approves the adoption of a registered apprenticeship program with the Department of Labor that includes welding. May I have a motion, please? Any discussion? Hearing none, may I have a roll call, please?
Audrey Adamson. Justin Anderson. Chet Smith. Kate Schaefer. Maria Estragaros. Andrew Laird. Aaron Weldon Smith.
Aye. Number 9, reports, requests, and open discussion. Before we start the superintendent's report, it is our superintendent's birthday today. Thank you. So happy birthday, Dr. Savage. So thank you for it.
We have that, so. Thank you. Just a couple of scheduling items. Towards the end of this week is spring parent-teacher conferences. It's really hard to believe that we've gotten to this point in what has been a very long year. Students will have a half day of school on Thursday. Conferences will be in the afternoon and evening. And then there's no school on Friday for conferences to take place in the morning on Friday. As you know, this is just a really important time for teachers, students, and parents to work together and collaborate regarding student progress and any other needs that our students have at this time. And then also, of course, Monday, the school district will also be closed in honor of President's Day holiday that is on the district calendar. That's all I have for tonight.
Okay. I first want to say thank you to Roosevelt for hosting us. I'm a tiny bit biased because most of my girls went here and had incredible experiences. Rowan had Mrs. Masias, so it was great to see her again. So thank you. So before we go into open discussion, I just want to remind the board of our norms, that we go one by one and we are thoughtful in our comments. So any open discussion, any topics that we would like to be discussed? Hearing none. I'm sorry, my brain is kind of stuck. I will move on to adjournment. So, may I have a motion, please? Okay. Any discussion? We're just checking. All in favor? Any opposed? All right, we're adjourned.